Welcome to Dickson Mushabe Live.
2 months ago, we created Dolphin Fund, a crowdfunding, or call it a fundraising platform for people's needs or for causes which are close to their hearts. Now, for starters, we thought all had wanted it and still want it to be for those health, hospitality, issues for people who need care and have causes close to their hearts. But it came out that actually it can be used for even businesses. There is a narrative in Uganda that the most contributions go for weddings and all sorts apart from businesses. Now, this is a great day in the history of Dolphin Fund. One of the campaigns, which is one of the most successful campaigns actually, is now one for a business startup. So we are glad that Ugandans have been able to embrace crowdfunding for businesses. And I'm here with the campaign manager. The person who crafted the idea of starting a business and have it crowdfunded in Uganda by Ugandans. So I just want, first of all, to thank you and welcome Jaluum Herberts Luwizza for that initiative.
Thank you very much, Dickson, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this. I am Jaluum Herberts Luwizza. I'm a business and investment consultant with the Young Trips, which is a business management consulting firm. How did this whole idea come out? My experience as a business consultant, I realized that one of the biggest challenges facing very many startups here, or even probably promising ideas, was the issue of finance. Now, if you look around Uganda or in our economy, the options of financing are very narrow and limited. For those who have been following the talk, you've had the issues going on with commercial banks and businessmen and all those things. It goes back to financing, yeah. The options of financing that we have are very narrow. Like I said, we basically have commercial banks, which are the main options for us for financing. So if you're not raising finance on your own as a person from your own savings, as a founder or as the originator of the idea, then the closest you can look to is financing the business through debt, which is getting a loan, in simple terms. And the only option that you have right now, we have commercial banks. And if you look at the way commercial banks are structured, they are not structured to finance startups. The limited options have made it so hard for very many would-be promising ideas to thrive and flourish. Now, all this time, we've been trying to think of something, of other options, find other options of financing businesses. And if you don't look so far away from this place, look to Europe, look to the US, you'll realize that businesses there thrive and do the way they do because there's a vast range of options for financing for them. You have what we call venture capitalists. You have angel investors. These are basically people who are sleeping on a lot of money and don't know what to do with it, and they are looking for the next Facebook, they are looking for the next Airbnb. Yes. They are looking for those young guys with ideas that need some money that they can put money into. Yes. Now that is void in our space here. We don't have those kinds of people. Sure. Then the other thing is crowdfunding, where communities or societies or people generally come together to put together resources, because individually it could probably be hard to raise those resources, but using the power of numbers, they come together and be able to collect that. So it's something that we've been wanting to do and we've been trying to introduce into our society because it's also a very new idea. Yes. 2 years ago, my first initiative was 2 years ago when I did a crowdfunding for an idea that we've been working on for the past 2 years called Campus Doctor. And we raised about 25 million Ugandan shillings, which was quite decent. Yes, yes, yes. Taking into context the environment, taking into the culture, in the investment culture. Yes, yes. It's not yet there. People are just progressing, to that place. So when I came up with this next idea, I've been always telling myself, this is an outlet for us. If we can embrace crowdfunding as a society, if we can embrace it as a people and leverage on the power of numbers, then it could be something that could be great. It's a space that I have been looking at for almost the past 5 years. At some point, I also felt so hurt that there were people who had come into this space, wrong people, who were taking advantage of this space and abusing it. So our people have also become a little bit skeptical because very many people have come trying to collect money and say you get money and this. The reality is, like I said, the investment acumen of our people is still a little bit low. So it's hard for people to tell when investment is real and when it's not real. So most of them usually just take a blind leap of faith. So I thought, if we are going to leave this space for these guys who are abusing it, why don't we come and actually use this space the right way? Because if we came and use the space the right way to do what it's supposed to do, then it could change a lot, not for only us as a business or us as an entity, but for the whole scope, the whole startup financing space. I mean, this could be transformational.
Yeah, you mean the guys who come with the get-rich-quick schemes? You invest in this amount of money.
There are guys who, there's a lot of get-rich-invest schemes that have come disguised themselves as businesses and have ripped off people. Now, that has also set us back a little because now people have burnt their fingers and,
I know.
And they're a little bit skeptical. But I know people still have belief that, you know, every coin has two sides. If a space has bad guys, they're always also going to be good guys. Now, it's up to the good guys to also come. The funny thing is, good guys usually don't want to come onto the table. They always leave this.
But it's good you've come.
So I thought to myself, and I'm like, if we are going to let this space be ruined by the bad guys, then by the time the good guys want to come onto the table, it could practically be very hard for us because the people will be very scared financially, psychologically. So I'm like, let's start up this. And for starters, I was like, okay, we're not even going to ask for a lot of money from people. And I'm like, how much money can someone willingly give without having to be worried or scared, and they don't even mind losing it? So we zeroed down to about 100,000. And this was after a normal Facebook post where I wrote something like, I have 5,000 friends. If 100 of you collected, or 400 of you collected 100,000 each, that could be 40 million. And boom, we would start a business. There and then I started getting inboxes of like, this is a great thing. Let's try it out. Let's try it out. By the end of the day, I had already been contacted by over like 15 people, obviously close friends on Facebook, of like, we believe this can work, and we believe with your kind of probably leadership and what, we can actually make this work. I was a little bit skeptical, I'll be honest, because it took me 2 weeks to make up my mind on it. I had to first come and sit down with my team at Young Trips and explain to them what I was trying to get myself in, because it's risky business.
It is.
The reality,
it's people's money.
It's people's money. The reality is, if this goes wrong, everything else goes wrong. Not for me, but even I drag the entity along. So I needed to explain to them what we are getting ourselves into. I took time to convince them and tell them, okay, this could be scary, but it could also be a good thing. Not just for us only as a business consulting entity, probably planning to start a hedge fund in the future, but also for the whole entrepreneurship financing space. It could be game changer. So I convinced them into taking up the risk, and they were like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Because we know at least we'll have structures in place to make sure we give everything we can for this to work, so that we don't get banned along with it. Sounds like there's no problem. I like this.
So you got a buy-in from your staff?
Yes, I buy. There's nowhere I was going to do it without a buy-in from the people I'm working with my partners. Because like I told you, if this goes wrong, everything can go wrong. If it goes right, everything can go right for everyone. That's the risk I'm not going to drag the company as Young Trips into without talking to the other people and making them comfortable about this risk that we are going to take. For me personally, I feel it's a risk that is worth taking. It's worthwhile. I know we have the ability to make this work, and we have the discipline, we have the expertise to actually make this work.
Let me just take you back. So you get Facebook inquiries.
Yes, I get Facebook inquiries of guys are like, let's do this. So after 2 weeks, I come and I'm like, okay, guys, I think I've made up my mind. I want us to do this.
Okay.
And then I think as soon as I do that, I have a friend. I think he happens to be both our friends. It's called Mokasa Livingstone.
Yes.
He's a very good financial guy. I actually went and saw him personally.
About the same?
Yes, about the same idea.
Okay.
And I told him, this is what I want to do. What do you think? And he was like, go for it. I was like, okay, that's nice. So then we discussed about options of how do we get to source money and that kind of stuff. Because then I didn't want it to consume my time in trying, getting money.
Yes.
So I was like, isn't there a platform that we can use? And then that's when Livingstone gets to refer Dolphin to me. It's like there's a Ugandan thing, it's called Dolphin Fund. They are trying to help people raise money, and I was like, perfect, that will work. So that's how I get to call you, and I ask you, okay, tell me about Dolphin Fund a little bit. I think you just said 3-4 words, and I was bought in, and I was like, I think we'll use Dolphin Fund. Later in the evening, I put up the link for Dolphin. We created it together, I remember.
Yes,
I had to send you some pictures for you to help me with the editing. I'm really horrible with that. So I wrote something and we started up the campaign. So the next day, boom, we have 1 million shillings. And I'm like, okay, wait.
That's one day?
Yes, just one day. Because then I set up, because I was like, now, if you're going to do fundraising and that kind of stuff, you have to step up the ante. You have to motivate guys and tell guys, okay, this is it. So I was like, guys, we have 40 days and I want us to raise 40 million in 40 days.
Yes.
So every day we are going to be raising
1 million.
So you just know from midnight to the next midnight, that's a day we should raise 1 million within that time. We raised 1 million. I was like, wow. The next day again, we raised another 1 million. I was like, wow. I think the first week we raised like about, okay, obviously it's kept now after guys, it kept watering a little bit, but we raised about 3 million in the first week, and then I was like, now we are up to something.
Yes.
So we kept pushing, and then it was 5 million, it was 6 million, it was 7 million. Finally, we got to 10,760,000. That was on Dolphin. But also on the other side, we were raising money for guys who wanted to put money on mobile money, because some of the guys were like, no, would prefer mobile money and what, and we're like, okay, there's no problem. Those who want to put money on Dolphin, put money on Dolphin. Those who are comfortable with putting money on mobile money, put on mobile money.
Direct.
So and on mobile money, actually mobile money, most of the guys who sent mobile money were the guys who were sending a little bit much more than the minimum we had put, because the minimum was 100.
Yes.
So there were guys who were giving us like 1 million, guys who were giving us 500K, guys who were giving us 700K. Most of those guys wanted to personally send money on mobile money. I think they felt much more comfortable like that.
Yes.
And also being that some of them were out, I think, yes, it made life a little bit easy for them. Yeah, so once we did that, we raised money. I think we've raised about 26 to 27 million.
Okay.
We are just about 12 million short of our target. But that is it's not good. It's tremendous.
It's marvelous.
It's not something that I probably anticipated. Because at the back of my mind, I was thinking, if we can raise 10 million, we can see how to work with that.
Yes.
Probably when people start seeing progress, they will. But even the 26 I am telling you, there are people who we have pledges of about 7 million.
Which is not yet in.
Which is not yet in, which is going to come in. Most of them have said, most of the guys who are out, they're like, we are out, with the pandemic and the lockdowns. We've just gotten back to work. Give us a month or two to work, then we send it.
By the way, this money was raised during COVID.
Exactly. The money was raised literally where people wanted every penny of their money.
Yes.
And I think we are telling people, look, guys, just like you raise money for weddings, just like you raise money for funerals, all these social causes, you can actually raise money to be able to invest.
Yes.
And in the end of the day, everyone else benefits. All these big companies that we see in the world, whether it's Facebook, They're all public companies. People just came together and put it. When you look at Apple, Apple is a public company. I mean, Apple wasn't built with solely Steve Jobs' money. I don't think even Mark had the money to build Facebook. It's basically he knew that I have an idea, and this idea, I need money for it.
Yes.
So I'll put out the idea there, and let guys bring in the money. So you have a guy giving you $1 million, you have a guy giving you 200,000, you have this guy, you get. So at the end of the day, you have like about 1,000 guys raising for you about 10 trillion.
Now,
and they're like, this is the money, get to do what you say.
thank you. I'd like you to take you to another point. Now, you see, on Dolphin Fund, there are many campaigns. Some have performed well, others have not. And I think even remember someone was complaining that your campaign was doing better than theirs. Shed some light on that so that you can help people who are in crowdfunding. Because people, why would someone donate to your campaign
and not donate
and not the other person?
I think it goes back to...
Or maybe, why did they donate to your campaign, do you think? Yes.
I think this is it. When people are giving money to an idea, they're actually not financing an idea. They are looking at the person behind the idea. And they're asking themselves a few questions.
Yes.
Is this guy trustworthy?
That is one.
Does this guy have the capacity to be able to do what he says he's going to do? Yeah, so if you look at those two things, those are the things that are going to inform people's decision on whether to give you money. If I give this guy money, am I going to see him posting pictures of himself in Bahamas the next day?
Yes, I know.
After I just gave him my money?
Yes, yes.
If I give this guy money to start a business, am I going to see him now posting pictures of him building and what?
Yes.
And then tomorrow when we ask boss, where's the business? There is no explanation.
Yes.
You get? So people look at those things. People don't just fund ideas. People usually look so much at the people behind the ideas. And this is where I tell people, build social capital.
Yes.
You get?
Yes.
Build yourself to be a certain kind of person. I will tell you this point blank. Over 100 people have given us money. I think I know less than 10 of them physically that I have met.
That you've met.
But most of them are people who have been seeing me on Facebook,
Yes.
seeing what has been happening with myself,
Yes.
the growth we've had from scratch.
Yes.
Yeah. So someone is going to think, if this guy could build this thing from scratch to this, it means he has the capacity to also build what he's saying he's going to build. Because there's evidence and proof of he's done it before.
Yes, yes.
Then the other thing is, we've never seen anyone post anywhere that we gave this guy money and he didn't turn up, he didn't do up or do anything. Or you get. Then we've also seen scenarios or stories of where guys have actually sent this guy money, clients from the US, a guy sends him $10,000, a guy from Dubai sends him $5,000, and you've never had complaints anywhere that the money either got
missing,
nothing, you've not had complaints. Yes. So when people keep following these things, just like you, people will see and say, oh, this guy writes, this guy does this. You know, people have seen you, so you grow. So they have a perception of who you are in their mind. So before people get to trust you, because by the time someone gets into their wallet and gives you money, it's a sign of trust.
Yes.
That I trust that this money, I have given it to you, it's going to do exactly what you say it's going to do.
So that means, so you want to say that if another person came up with even a better idea but is not trusted,
they will not
people will,
yes, they will not give you money.
Yes.
Even if you came up with an idea that would change the globe and be the most successful in the world, if people before people trust what you're saying and what you're probably selling, they need to trust you. People need to buy into you before they buy into what you're selling.
Yeah.
That is very important. So as you're packaging what you're selling, you also package yourself as a person.
Yes.
You get?
Yes.
Let people get to know who and what you are about. You see, once people buy into you, they will buy into everything. Let me say something funny. I'm so much into business consulting. I'm also very opinionated. I'm a little bit strongly opinionated. I get to have opinions on quite a lot of things because I basically read a lot about anything and everything. So I could say I'm a little bit highly knowledgeable in very many things. Now you'll find people sometimes consulting you in things to do with relationship. And you're like, but guys, I am a business consultant. Like I even don't know what I'm struggling with, probably my own relationship. But you see, simply because people have bought into you and they trust you, they think probably Dickson knows everything.
They think you have it all figured out somehow.
Everything is figured out. This guy,
Yes.
if I tell him that I have an issue with my mom and what, somehow either he will know someone who can figure it out or he will figure it out somehow. So once people buy into you, and for me it's belief, when people have the belief in you to that extent, everything you say just makes sense. And they will follow you to it. Yes, until you abuse that trust.
Yes.
And for me, I tell people, once you get to that level where you have that, achieved that kind of trust, it's the most priceless thing you can have in this world. Once you abuse it, you're done with. You're doomed for good. You can actually die there at that point. You're as good as dead. Yeah.
Okay. So now, how far have you gone? Oh, now that you've collected the money, crowdfunded, we thank all the shareholders.
I practically thank all the investors.
Yes, all the investors.
Yes, the investment is a vote of confidence in me as a person and an organization of what we are doing. Yes, so I don't take it lightly.
So where are you now? What's the next step?
Right now, our campaign has just closed. Today we actually get our check. Yay!
Yes.
Yeah, but I think for us, we're moving towards that point of having a formal business and trying to grow it and that kind of stuff. So I think the next stage for us, we've already formalized the business.
Okay.
We have a legal shell.
Okay.
Probably we're going to, continue to grow legally.
Okay.
Because then we need to, now we're going to start fitting in the other investors and what, and see how to fit them into. Yeah, for now we just registered something, have a legal shell, so that even if we started operations, we will do them without anyone or interference or any legal limitations. We are having our account, monies are going, we are basically doing a little bit of structures. Yes. And like I said, I'm going to be sharing this, because this started on social media, on my Facebook page. Yes. And I'm going to share the whole journey with people. Okay. So that it's more or less also a journey of how do you start a business from scratch. So for those who have not been part of this, there are also lessons to learn. Yes, so it's going to be for a whole year, I think, until the whole of next year. Then after that, I think I will cut off and let the business have some form of
So as you give shareholders, oh, by the way, I also invested.
Yeah.
My 100,000.
Yes, you invest. Thank you very much for it.
Yeah. So you mean during the year, as you give us the updates, you are going to still, it's like accountability in the other.
What happens is the way public companies, I know you guys hear people say, we have shares in Umeme, we have shares. So this is what happened. A company is set up, a management is instituted of capable people to be able to run. It's the work of the investors to just sit back there and wait to share their money and eat their money. Yes. But it is the responsibility of the business to make sure that, one, investors' money is held properly. Okay. Management should work towards making sure that investors actually get value or return on their investment. Okay. Investors are always in the loop. Depending on how often some companies do every 3 months, others every 4 months. Investors get reports of, in the past 3 months, this is what we've done, these are the expenses we've made, these are the revenues we've made, is the company making money, is the company not making money? I mean, all that information. The company is probably going to ship more equipment from but even then, as a group of investors, the investors themselves always select a team of probably 5 people. They institute a board of probably like directors. Tell them, okay, like for some of the decisions where probably equipment needs to be imported, such decisions have to be shared. That the interest of the stakeholders are not.
Okay, so now you finish registration, the accounts are set up, and you're set to run.
Yeah, we are now set to run. We've been running samples, and apparently everybody in office scampered over them. Okay. A few people had the things to say here and there about the samples.
I saw some comments,
but like
it's okay.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, it's just samples. And we're going to keep improving these things.
Yes.
We want to start from somewhere. I know people usually want to start very ambitiously, but I am the kind of guy who believes in bootstrapping.
Okay.
For business. And bootstrapping is basically starting and building from the bare minimum. Because the reality is, every venture you go into is a new experience. There's room for learning. Yes. Now, if you want to learn, you don't learn with all the school fees or all your capital at once. It is better to learn little gradually.
Yes.
So just make most of the mistakes
with
little of the money.
Yes.
So that by the time the mistakes are all behind you, you still have most of the money.
Yes.
To then it's just like a plane. When a plane is taking off, a plane starts slowly, it circles. It just keeps increasing the speed. You get until it gets to that. By the time the plane gets to that point of takeoff, the speed at which it's running is so high.
Yes.
So businesses are also like that. I know very many people want to start business at a rocket kind of like.
Yes.
You get, but it's risky. It's risky.
True.
Despite the fact that you probably have this all figured out, you have a business plan, you have all these things. The reality in ground sometimes is always different. So you need to give yourself that room of learning, at least of about 6 months to 8 months to at most a year. You believe that after a year of doing the same thing consistently, at least now, you've made all the mistakes, you've burnt your fingers, you've made all the mistakes you have to make.
Yes.
At that stage, the mistakes are very, very minimal. And everything you do at that stage is just propelling you.
As Dolphin Fund, we really have interest in this because it started all a Dolphin Fund.
Yes.
It changed the narrative.
Yes.
Of people crowdfunding for business in Uganda, in open crowdfunding. So we are glad to be part of this. So we'll follow you up once in a while. Basically,
I will be happy.
We would like to follow this story because it's much as it's your baby, but it's a baby of Dolphin Fund.
Dolphin Fund,
and its success.
I think all babies have two parents. So let's say we are both the parents of this kid.
Yeah. So moving on from the samples, do you have now equipment?
From the samples, no, we supposed to buy equipment this week.
Okay.
But some of the equipment we need, we cannot source locally.
Okay.
So I'm thinking of importing, especially mainly the oven.
Okay.
The rest of the things we are going to get from here.
Okay.
All those other things that we need, trays, fridge, tables, blood, chairs, everything else we're going to get from here. The one thing I think I want to import, and I'll be doing that, importing it from China, probably mid next month, will be the oven, the commercial oven.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that is something that we need, so it will be something that we'll have to buy.
No.
But this week we are buying a lot of the equipment.
Finally, to the name. Yes, you have your shareholders, your investors, Goka Foods.
Goka Foods. How did the name come up? Oh, I don't know.
Go Kampala.
Kampala.
You mentioned something.
Yeah,
Go Kampala.
Yes. It came from, I think we're like, let's go Kampala. Kampala. But also the inspiration for me is mainly from Goya Foods a little bit. For people who know Goya Foods. Goya Foods is a Latino American company. They made about $1.5 trillion last year.
They're selling snacks?
And they're basically doing what we want to do. So they are selling snacks, they are selling. So we're going to, as a company, we're going to do a range of things. The snacks is basically our start point, and would probably, with time, we'll have our own snacks, probably waffles and all those things.
Okay.
But then we'll also go into very many other areas. We'll go into the kitchen, where we'll do things like tomato sauce. We'll do quite a number of things. Then we will also move into, I'm already looking at the prospects of doing tomato sauce.
Okay.
I'm actually already doing my research on it. But also spices. Okay, maybe for guys who don't know Goka Foods, I'll say American Garden.
Okay.
So I think most of us know American Garden and the product range that they have. So we are looking at such things. We're looking at tinned food at some time. We're looking at a range of things, but this is for us the starting point. I think at that stage when we are probably maybe 6, 7, 10 years, then we will be at the top of where we want.
Okay, as we finalize, I'd like to congratulate you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
For putting up the spirit and for changing the narrative that Ugandans can actually now a crowd fund for startups, for businesses in Uganda. Yeah, and it's not stopping here. I would like to encourage other people to go to Dolphin Fund.
Yes, I would encourage them. We now have a platform. People can, you can, because I think basically before it was hard to gather people together. But now you have a central point for everything, a central point for money collection. So you can just go to Dolphin Fund, collect money, and you're good.
Yeah. And to your shareholders, finally?
To my shareholders,
the investors.
To my shareholders and to the investors, thank you very much for the trust. This is much more than just investing in the business. I believe you guys are investing in me. I pray to God every day. I just say a very short prayer. God, make sure I make money for the people who have given me their money and for myself.
Yes.
That is a prayer I have every day. I basically want to make money for people and to make some little money for myself also. I believe this is the start of very many things. We're already having a discussion with having a second round of crowdfunding for Campus Doctor to set up our medical facility. I've already started getting positive vibes.
I saw some posts, yes.
Already exciting things.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and we will have a hedge fund going forward where people can pool money together.
Okay.
So that we go away from this monopoly of commercial banks, because the bank is going to give you money and expect you to start paying them in 30 days before you even set up the thing.
Yes.
You get, but if we'd gotten money loan from a bank by now, we should be paying back. But we've not yet even bought the equipment.
Yes.
So I think that is a culture we should all embrace. If it works, it is worked in the US, it is worked in Europe, it's how China was built.
Yes, it should work here.
It should work here.
Yes,
we just have to commit ourselves to making sure it works.
So now I'd like to hand you over your check.
Yes.
Please allow me hand you over this check of 10,760,000 Uganda shillings to Goka Foods. All of it fundraised, all crowdfunded via Dolphin Fund. It's at www.dolphinfund.org. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And the investors wish you all the best. We are going to keep an eye on.
Just keep an eye on it. And those who also want to learn from this as a what?
Yes.
Just follow me on Facebook, Jaluum Herberts Luwizza. Also follow Young Treps on Facebook. Or you can also find us on www.theyoungtreps.com.
All right.
Thank you very much. God bless you. And may God bless our investment.
All right.